Growing up, I would always compare myself to other people, and this would be for many aspects in life. This could be academically, this could be success, this could be relationships, you know, you get my point, it could be literally anything. But as I started getting older, I started realizing how stupid it is to think like this. There's literally no need to compare yourself to other people, it's super unhealthy. And I have no idea why us humans just love doing it so much. I'm sure there are rogue situations where it would make sense for you to compare yourself to other people, but I'm not talking about those moments in this video. I'm more just talking about aspects in life where there's literally no need to compare yourself. But before I continue, I just quickly want to say, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do, because we're closing into 1,000 subscribers and that would be amazing. I'm gonna try to give you examples here so it's easier to understand what I'm trying to say. What the fuck was that noise? I don't know if you guys could hear that. There was just some loud ass noise outside my house. As I was saying, I'm just gonna try to give you a few examples here for you guys to understand this a bit better. The first example that comes to mind is comparing myself to my sister academically. Actually thinking about it, I don't know if this is the best example because it's more my parents comparing us siblings over me comparing myself to my sister. But fuck it, we ball. I'm just gonna use it as an example anyways. For most of our lives, me and my sister went to the same school, so it's quite easy for our parents to compare our grades. And she's a lot older than me, so every time I would go into another year, my parents would dig up my sister's grades and just show it to me. Pretty much setting my expectations immediately as the year begins, telling me what grades they expect. And it really wasn't helpful how my sister was super smart and she would actually get good grades while I, on the other hand, was not getting good grades. Like, don't get me wrong, my grades were not terrible by any means, but it wasn't as good as my sister's. The truth is, she just cared about school way more than I did, which obviously means she would most likely get better grades. For some reason, when it came to school, I just could never get myself to care about it. And I'm not trying to say this like in a cool way. I'm not trying to say like, oh, I was such a cool dude, you know, I didn't care about school. I'm definitely not trying to do that. I'm just trying to state what actually was the truth. I just really didn't care and I just couldn't get myself to study for anything. I did understand the importance of good grades because every time I would get a bad grade, I would always feel a bit down from it. But at the same time, if I got a good grade, I didn't really care. I was just like, you know, it is what it is. Also, I don't really know what I'm doing here. I'm trying to make this look a bit better, but I have no fucking clue what to do. Does that look good? Not really. No, that actually looks fucking ugly if you ask me. Every time I'd get a bad grade, in the back of my mind, I'd always be thinking about what my parents would think because my sister would never get a bad grade like that. And you know, I don't think that's the best way for a kid to think, especially in school, because it's definitely not a competition between siblings. You know, I'm sure there's like friendly competition. You obviously want to get better grades than your sibling, but like, it shouldn't be that deep if you get worse grades. It wasn't like she was getting all A stars while I was getting all Fs or anything. You know, like my grades were so good. It's just she was a lot better. Also, I'm actually completely fucking stumped with this build, so I'm just gonna go fish for a little bit, you know. I'm gonna try to think about how I'm gonna build this. Also, yeah, I just don't think this is the best example. I do not know why I thought to use this as the first example for the video because I truly just did not give a shit about school. So even when I got bad grades and, you know, I compared myself to my sister, like realistically, I don't think I cared that much. I think a better example would be this YouTube channel. I find myself comparing this channel to, you know, other channels that are very similar. Honestly, I can't even really name you any of the channels apart from like the really big ones who do the similar type of videos. I'm just more talking about those random videos that pop up on, you know, your homepage, and I click on it and I just see that it's a very similar video to mine, but their video is just doing a lot better. And I just start beating myself over it. I just get annoyed that like I am not getting the same views as they are and I don't have the same subscribers as they do, which is like such a stupid way to think, and it completely nullifies all that you've done so far and all the progress that you've made. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers, as I said earlier in the video, and instead of being grateful for that, I find myself beating myself over not getting more views. I mean, it is true, if I want to grow my channel, then I am going to need to get more views. So I definitely should always be thinking about how I can grow this channel and how I could make better videos, but I also have to just take a step back and see what I've done so far. 1,000 subs is not very easy to reach, and you know, I've not reached 1,000 yet, but you get my point, I'm almost there. The thing is, I'm a person that gains motivation really quick and loses motivation even faster. Let's say I post a video and the video does really well, right? Let's say it gets 1,000 views. I'm gonna get like so motivated to post more. And let's say 8 videos in a row do very well, right? I'll be super motivated, but if one video just flops, I'm gonna wanna completely delete my channel. And a lot of that is based on me comparing myself to other people because I go on other people's channels and they have no videos that flop. When I scroll through their channels, I see thousands of views and like, you know, they get plenty of likes, and I always compare myself to that. And this is one of those moments where I have to use my own advice here because, you know, I know that what I'm doing is wrong, but I know for a fact I'm not gonna stop comparing myself. Not everything is a competition, and I think that's the main thing that I want to get through in this video. I think the thing is, I've always treated like small things as competitions, and that's just just not the way to live life, in my opinion. It's great to be a competitive person in the right situations, but there are scenarios where you just do not need to be competitive. Life would just be so much better if I compared myself to others, and instead of getting annoyed at myself, I just got more motivated. So when I say this, let's say I see a channel that's similar to mine doing a lot better than mine. Instead of getting super annoyed that they're doing better than me, I should just use it as motivation and see what they're doing and see what's working for them and try use it for myself. But hey, I don't know if my brain's ever gonna work like that, but hopefully one day, bro. The next example I can give, and I know a lot of people relate to this example because I've seen it on TikTok, I've seen so many videos on this. You know when you see someone that's your age or younger and they're just doing so much better than you in life? The best example I can think of from recent times is that 16-year-old or 17-year-old Spanish player from the Euros. That kid that was just like dominating the tournament, and for people that don't watch football, this is just a football tournament, like a pretty big one. And there was just this 16/17-year-old who was just doing like really well. When I first see that, I'm always like, damn, that's sick, you know, that's really cool for him. I'm just super happy for him, like he's got his life sorted out at 16 years old. But then I start deeping it and I'm like, fuck bro, at 16 I was playing fucking Fortnite all day, and now I'm 21 and life hasn't got much better, you know, like there's nothing I can say that I'm super proud of or just proud of anything that I created, to be honest. I'm hoping in the upcoming years I finally create something, or you know, I do something with life that I'm super proud of, but right now, if I'm being brutally honest, there definitely isn't anything that I'm too proud of. I'm sure there are some moments, but there's nothing that just spikes to my mind when I think of being proud of myself. And comparing myself to people that are my age on the internet is definitely not helping me. Another great example I can think of is IShowSpeed, or just Speed. You don't have to be his fan or anything, but you have to respect what he's doing. Like, I think this is somewhat cool. I don't really know exactly what to do, but I think it's pretty cool. Oh nah, it should be this probably. It should be like that. Okay, that looks kinda cool. Maybe like something like that. Yo, I think I might low-key be cooking here. Wait, let me do this. Bang bang. Potentially? I don't think that looks too bad. It definitely doesn't fit in with the wood or the cobblestone inside, but I think it might be a cool contrast. I really don't know. So as I was saying, you have to respect whatever Speed's been up to. He's 19 years old, I believe, and he travels the world for a living. And don't get me wrong, I'm definitely not hating on the success that he's had, because he definitely deserves all the success he's got. He's one of the funniest streamers out there probably right now, and you know, he definitely deserves it. You know, it's just every time I see him in a different country, and he goes to like different countries every single day, I'm just like, damn bro, like that's what I want to do. And the fact that he's just a lot younger than me just doesn't help, because I'm just like, bro, like that could have been me if I just started a bit earlier. But realistically, no, his work ethic was insane. He's a funny guy, super talented, and he deserves everything he's got. And there's literally no point for me to compare myself to him, because everyone goes through life differently. Everyone reaches different stages of life at different times. Some people have to work a lot harder than other people to reach the same goal. Some people have to work for a way longer period of time to achieve a goal compared to other people. And you know, it's one thing to compare yourself to people you know, and it's another thing to compare yourself to people on the internet. It's crazy nowadays. Our generation always compare ourselves to other people on the internet, people that we don't know. People love comparing their bodies to people on Instagram, you know, those fitness influencers. They see these fitness influencers online and they see their bodies and they just start beating themselves over their own body. It doesn't even have to be this. A lot of people compare just their lifestyles to people on the internet. You know, those people that post photos of them in private jets or just like partying all the time. People see things like that and they just get depressed because they're comparing their lives to these people's lives. And the reality is, on social media, people only post the good things in their lives. If you're an influencer, you're obviously not going to post a boring day online. You're not going to post a day where you're just checking emails all day. You know, you're obviously not going to do that. You're going to post when you go on a private jet. But these people that compare themselves to these influencers don't think like that. They just assume that these guys have something crazy going on every single day. And in their mind, that's the lifestyle that they're trying to live. So when they compare their lives to their influencers' lives, it just does not help them. Especially if their lives currently are nothing like those influencers. Especially if you have like a 9-to-5 job or just a job that's completely different to these influencers. Comparing yourself to them is just going to make you depressed, and there's genuinely no point in doing that. Other times that I've compared myself to other people are just with fitness things. When I say this, I'm talking about how I compare myself to my friends in just different aspects of fitness. So for example, a few years ago, I wanted to run a 5K just because I just never had ran a 5K in my life, and you know, I just wasn't into running at all. And at that time, when I was just getting started, I already had friends that were doing 10Ks and you know, even more. And instead of acknowledging that my running journey was just beginning and you know, I was just complete beginner, I used to compare myself to these people that have been running for years. There would be weeks where I'd run every single day and you know, those sessions would be so good, or at least I should have thought it was so good, but instead I would compare myself to my friends and be like, fuck, like by this time they already had ran 5K while I was still doing like 3Ks. But again, that's completely fine because most of my friends are like just natural athletes and I definitely am not. Those boys grew up playing sports while I grew up playing fucking Minecraft. You know, there's a difference there. And it's definitely not my friends' faults. They never pressured me or anything. It was actually the complete opposite. They would always be encouraging me to go on more runs and they would always say how proud they are of me and you know, just acknowledging my progress. But instead of being happy with myself, myself and being proud of how far I've come, I just used to get so annoyed. I used to get annoyed that I wasn't progressing as fast as my friends were when they first started running. And again, that's just such a stupid way to think, man. You know, another similar situation is just with golf. I have this one friend that got quite decent at golf really quick, while it definitely took me a lot longer to get the basics down. But again, instead of just being proud of how far I've come, I would always compare myself to him and just be like, fuck, like he's so much better than me and he started at the same time as I did. It's honestly just so fucking stupid. There's no other way to say it. It's just so stupid. And again, this is one of the nicest friends I have. Every time we're on the course, he's always like being super nice to me and saying how every shot's a good shot. Well, not every shot, obviously. You know, if it was an absolute stinker, he would tell me it's a stinker, but he's a real friend. He's not just gonna lie to me. But he never says that I'm a shit player or anything, but for some reason, I just compare myself to other people and I just beat myself over it. Again, as I've stated many times in this video, it's not a competition. Not everything is a competition. I mean, there's even a whole famous quote on this topic. I'm sure you've heard of it. Comparison is a thief of joy, and it's completely true. If you're just like me and you compare yourself to other people all the time, trust me, just stop doing that and you will be so much happier. And I know that's a lot easier said than done, but I can't really give you advice because I still compare myself to other people. But the good thing is, over the years, I definitely have started to compare myself to other people less. And I can clearly tell you, it makes your life a lot better when you stop doing that. Another topic that I compare myself to others is relationships. The majority of my friends have been in a relationship in their life, while I have never had an official relationship. I've had a few of those awkward talking stages kind of things, but I've never had an official relationship. And for some reason, this is one of my personal favorite topics to compare myself to other people on. I'm always super harsh with myself on the fact that I'm one of the only people left to never be in a relationship in my friend group. But again, this is one of the things that you can't really force in life. Well, I guess you technically could by just like forcing yourself to go on more dates and stuff, and I definitely should do that. You know, at the same time, I'll know when I meet the right girl for me. And I just don't think it's necessary for me to push myself to go try find a girlfriend. But I do find myself contemplating on this topic, and you know, I'm always just like, damn, I feel like I'm behind in life. But again, as I said, a lot of people go through life differently. When it comes to relationships, I have friends that have been together since high school. I have friends that have been dating on and off since like year 3, which is like when we were fucking kids. You know, I don't even know if dating back then counted. I've got friends that were in a 3-year relationship and it just didn't work out. And then on the other hand, there's me who has no relationship experience at all. But that just highlights how everyone goes through life differently. That's the shittest book ever, but yeah, that just shows that everyone goes through life differently. You know, who knows, the first girlfriend I get might be the person I end up marrying. Well, I'm sure there's like a statistic out there that completely says that that's impossible, but you know, I can hope, a man can hope. But yeah, I think that's all the examples I wanted to give, and I just wanted to quickly reiterate how important it is for you to just not compare yourself to other people. As I said before, I'm sure there are scenarios where it could be useful, but for the majority of the time, just don't do it, man. Life will just be so much better if you don't, and you'll just find yourself being a lot more happier. I'm also gonna quickly say this one more time, not everything is a competition, so please don't treat everything like it is a competition. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just forget about other people and just focus on you. Focus on the progress you've made so far, focus on your future goals, focus on the progress you're trying to make, instead of comparing yourself to iShowSpeed on the internet, who's a fucking generational athlete, by the way. I mean, I'm going off topic here, but have you seen the shit that he's done, bro? That brother is an athlete. In another life, if he wasn't a streamer, that guy could have went pro in something, bro. Well, yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say. If you guys end up enjoying this video, please do leave a like and subscribe, and if you're still watching till now, you're definitely enjoying it, so you might as well click on the video that just popped up. Or don't, it's obviously up to you. Thank you guys for watching and have a great night. Peace.